just because I selfishly wanted to say hi. So anyway, we don't start. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't start till 7. And is there anything that you want me to do differently than I might, which is just to say hi and introduce you the way I would normally introduce
No,
you, which it's not like the Grammy Award introduction. It's more like
I
how,
I don't deserve a Grammy Award introduction.
how you would introduce or how you would introduce a friend. I mean, if you want me to talk about if you want me to talk about your education or just ask you to do that.
Oh, whatever you want to do. I am setting up. Apparently, it needed to update, and I didn't realize that. But
Okay.
I'm gonna log in also to the Zoom from my phone for an overhead for
Okay.
when I show examples and stuff.
Okay. I made you co-host, right? You should be co-host. Let me see.
Um, yes, you did make me co-host.
Okay. So in terms of spotlighting things, you do that from your end. You have more than one camera.
Yeah, I
Like
can do that from my end.
you're
So,
logged in more than once, right?
yep.
Or I can only see you once. So does it mean
I just Ryan phone here. I'll admit it.
oh yeah, if you did oh, there we are. Okay.
Let me turn down the volume.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. So
Oh,
anyway, is it okay to mention the background's all blurry? Does my face show? Is my face blurry too? Or just my
no,
background?
you've got a filter on that blurs out your background.
That's all right, because I can't, but as long as you can see me, that's okay. Um, because this is gonna be a class around gold. Um, do you think everybody knows that, even though that's what it's called? Like if they're coming in expecting to learn carving, we're probably not doing that. Or
I mean, there's nothing in the title or description that says anything about doing that.
no, there is nothing.
I don't
There's
understand why I can't turn down this volume all the way. Oh, wait, there we go. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was getting a repeat in sound and it wasn't letting me turn the volume down all the way.
uh-huh.
I found where to do that. Ooh, that's
Steve Harris. Steve's like watching something. It's making so much noise.
there we go. I figure out how to switch the camera around.
Ryan, our office manager, whose name is Ryan, um, is live
Uh,
stream is live streaming this to YouTube so that people can watch it afterwards if they're not in the meeting.
oh,
So,
fun.
so you'll be famous. You might get that Grammy Award.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I had to unmute myself.
So that's good, isn't it?
I can see your hand
Yeah. Okay.
and I can see you. So
Uh,
that's
it's not showing.
what do you want it to show?
Well, I'd prefer it to be not. Um, I don't know if I can change that or not. The landscape.
Is there something I should be able to do?
No, I don't think so. I gotta figure out on
Oh,
my.
you have to turn your phone.
Yeah, maybe if I. On. There. Oh, there's that. There we go. It's upside down. How's that okay?
Uh, does it, can you get more of a close up or no?
Well, I'm gonna hold things.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I don't have that on the, I don't have that spotlighted, so it won't show me the big, let's see.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? So that I can, let me see. Yeah, now I can see it. Sorry, I just spotlighted that. Do you want that to be on, or do you want to do the spotlight thing so that you know what you want people to focus on? Or do you want me to do that?
it
Because
doesn't matter. I figure when we're talking face to face, we can. If you want to, I don't know if you want to spotlight me or not. Um,
whatever you want. In terms of your bench, I put the spotlight on that so I could see all those pretty things on there, but now I don't know how to unspotlight that. I have to go back to your,
just if you right click there, I just removed it.
oh, you do it on your own. Okay.
Yeah, I can do it because it's you made me co-host.
I know I did, you know why I did that, right? So I could do all that. So you could do that. My technical capacity is limited.
Oh, that's funny.
It's not funny. Not funny.
There we
Um,
go. Zoomed in a little.
oh, it's so exciting. Now you're all ready to teach a virtual class. You just stay home if you want to. You want,
No, not tonight.
Really, did you think I wasn't going to pay for your flight? I felt terrible when I got that message.
Oh no, no, it was just because I was originally because moving to Ohio, I'm like, Atlanta's an 8 hour drive. It's easy. Um and so what did I do? Oh no, I did something.
What, your spotlight went away?
No, I made Zoom full screen and I don't. There's gallery view, speaker view. What did I do?
Now you're sounding me. Hey,
Oh, there
Steve,
we
can
go.
you let the dog out, babe? Thanks. Can you cover for the dogs in the next little? Okay. So
Oh,
you,
there. End it.
did you
Oh,
fix it?
yes.
Okay. So let's see. 3 minutes. Do you want me to let people in or you want me to wait till 7?
Oh, I don't, whatever you want to do. If there's anything else we need to discuss,
Is there?
I don't
Um,
think so.
is it smart practices in gold and silver? Is that what we're calling it?
Yep. Yeah.
And
It's,
oh, you what?
it'll be different, but I just saw that Alex's class got postponed and it's like a very similar class right before this one. So his his gold on
Oh,
the budget.
no, because he's teaching. Um, you know how he always does a project. It's a ring, and it's so I think it'll be
Oh,
different.
his is project based.
Yeah, it's just how he does the gold on the band and then the gold on
Yeah.
the thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's teaching that, and I think it'll. I mean, when we were at whatever that place was, what was it called in the mountains?
Wild Acres.
Yeah, you were showing us how you use gold and it was an abbreviated version, but I loved it. And it was everybody loves you. They're just like, oh, we don't care what he teaches. We love him. Steve, come quick if you want to say hi before this meeting starts. Oh, you lost your opportunity. Steve, we let the dog out. What? She's barking. I can't have that. Oh,
Been a whole hour since your last meal.
okay. Say hi to Ryan really quick because we have 30 seconds. Boop, 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 boop.
There's Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, how's it going?
Are you moved completely
Yeah.
I moved completely. I'm sitting in Ohio.
in your new studio?
Yep.
Excellent.
It's Pegboard City.
Well, yeah, everybody's
Yeah,
love Ryan.
mom and
including
dad,
you.
this room and mom and dad's house is perfect.
Yeah. All right. I
Good
gotta
for
let
you.
my people in. Go away.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So we'll let them in. Admit all. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Everyone's muted.
Oh, I see
Hi.
Valerie.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Susan.
Hi. Thanks for being. Oh, no, 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 no.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Are you letting people in, Ryan? I'm looking for my job.
Yeah, I let some people in.
Okay, good. But I'll just go take a shower.
That's why you made me co-host.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you should be the host actually, because it's your gig, but I'm just
It's with the move and everything. It's been a while. Zoom has changed a lot. I'm like going through. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Things are a little different. I got to figure this out again.
that says.
So, Ryan, Pat, Gail, and I were in a virtual class for the first time with Michael today.
Oh no! Did you take the class today? How'd that go?
It's today and Friday.
Yeah, and Friday. Yeah, Josiah had called me because they were having some technical difficulties. So
That's funny. That's funny, Ryan.
I was telling him this is my week of boys because I have Bailey and Alex and Michael, and they're all on top of each other.
oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Not,
Valerie figured
not a
out
bad group.
classes at one time.
Mhm.
Well, it looks like we have a nice crowd here. I'm Susan Walkler, just hosting this for Ryan from MAG, and thank you for being here. And some of you, I suppose, are going to be joining us in Ryan's class, and we hope that some others of you might consider joining us as well. It seems like most of you know Ryan. Um,
Some
it's
of them I recognize.
the Ryan fan club. And I'm going to let him share a little bit about what he's going to be teaching us. We'll spend about an hour if things need to wind down before then, because people have other things to do, that's fine too. But I've set aside an hour. And Ryan's taught for us at MAG several times, and we want him to be a regular. So
This is a new class. I haven't taught this class at MAG before, so
yeah, we want a new class. So this class is going to be smart uses of gold and silver. Smart uses of gold. Smart uses of gold and silver.
yep. Smart practices in gold and silver.
Right.
You
As opposed
practice
to
that.
self-practices.
Susan.
All right. So yeah, I've never taken this class. It's a little different than the carving classes that you may have taken in the past. And I'm looking forward to it. So Ryan, would you like to share? Ryan's in Ohio, where he's from originally. Moved to Colorado after school and apprenticed with Michael, and that turned into a 11-year,
15.
15-year. So everyone grew up together. Ryan
Yeah.
became a grown-up working with Michael, and you can see clearly Michael's influence in your work. But I love seeing how amazing your work is, and just in the few years I've known you, it's grown tremendously. You are a master. You deserve a lot of awards and a lot of praise. And you're a wonderful teacher, and we're just so excited to have you. So I wonder if you could just share with us a bit about what you're going to be up to. And I know that you have another camera that shows us your bench, and I pass the torch.
All right. Well, hi everyone. Like she said, I am talking to you guys from my new studio in Ohio. Been here 2 months now, give or take. But So it's interesting being back in the Eastern time zone. So doing this at 7, it's actually 7 for me. It's not 5 o'clock. So it's a lot of fun. It's nice being kind of back home with family and everything. So but yeah, so this class coming up, it's first time we've taught this class in Atlanta. It's actually only the second this will be the second time this class has happened, period. So it's still a very new class out there that I'm doing. So the idea is talking about incorporating gold into your silver work. So it's how to go about mixing those two metals, how to approach fabricating with the two metals, and then also just thinking design wise. We're gonna get into deciding like where is a good places to apply this gold to maximize that look with hopefully minimizing the amount of gold needed to do that. So because gold, especially right now, last I checked, it hit like $2,700 an ounce or something, which is just outrageous. But hopefully after the election, it'll drop back down a little bit. But yeah, so that of course is made, timing wise of this workshop. Kind of stinks for that. Hopefully you guys got your gold a little while ago. But yeah, so I'm gonna spotlight my bench there. Now, can everyone can still hear me if I don't, because I won't unmute the camera, but sound is still coming through fine, right? Through the computer.
It's good.
Yes.
Great, great. So, you know what, I pulled out just we're gonna be working with various forms, gold wire, gold, and fabricating those into different things, gold tubing, of course. There'll be times we'll be using gold solder, times we'll be using silver solder, and we'll talk about what to use when and why to go about doing that. I typically, this class focuses on um, working with kind of the higher carat golds. I prefer to work with the higher carat golds. One, they're, color wise, I think it's, there is a cost difference, but in reality, for me, it's not a big enough cost difference for the color difference because it looks like a brighter, better gold color. But also it is a little bit easier to work with when you get into the lower carat golds, 14 and 10 carat golds. Especially when you start mixing them with silver, it becomes really easy to actually have those two metals alloy into each other. So instead of getting even when you're soldering them together, it's very easy to overheat. And you get those metals that instead of having some of those crisp edges between the two metals, they can really start to fog out and go blurry and stuff. So that's why I tend to lean towards using the higher carat golds, 18 karat and 22 karat gold. But we're going to, discuss ways. So like we'll pull out this ring at first. So ways of either, we've got options for adding just little accents, just little gold accents. Sometimes with those gold diamonds, we'll be talking about doing some tube settings, how I go about doing those tube settings, and how to apply them. A lot of them solder into place. The one thing that we will be doing where we actually manipulate the stone is with the gold tubing. Um, I am going to show and some of you would be repeat, um, but I am going to show the inlay of the gold, the tube set diamond into the stone itself. So incorporating that into the stone itself, and also then applying it and soldering them in, and how to go about. Do you solder the tube on first? Do you set diamonds first? Are there instances where you do one or the other? What about if it's not a diamond? But then also just talking about then of course when and where to apply gold, and why I might want to do that. And we'll be getting into making our own bezel wire, making gold bezels that are on silver plate, showing how to make a bimetal. So I have these two rings here as an example where you can either use gold in its solid form. So if you look through the ring and at the top, that gold ring in the center is a solid gold. It's 18 karat gold wire, that was soldered between the two silver rings to make the solid ring shank. And so we'll talk about making, show how I fabricate those ring shanks. And this workshop really gets into a lot of my fabrication work. My other workshops have focused on just manipulating the stone, not really talking about the metal work that goes along with working with those stones. But then you have, incorporating, a solid piece of gold, that can be pretty inexpensive. This ring with the gold bezels on both stones, the diamonds set in 18 karat gold on the side, and then the solid gold band in the center of the ring shank, that is a significant cost of gold for this ring. And so ways to reduce that cost is, we'll talk about. If you look now on the inside of this ring, the outside, I have that nice gold textured center to the ring. But if you look on the inside, if I don't block it with my fat fingers, and that's my other hand, I need to move. There we go. So if you see on the inside, it's silver on the inside. So we'll talk about making a bimetal. So similar to what I have here. So on the top, I do a lot of rings. That I do these texture elements on the outside. And sorry, it's not focusing as nicely as I would like at the moment, of course. But I've got those textured that I do in silver. You can do, that as solid gold would be, you know, it's a smaller amount, but it's still, a good probably 40-50 bucks worth of gold if that were solid gold texture around that bezel. And so I can create that bimetal wire where I've got a really nice show of gold. So if I had that, around, you have that really nice show of gold, but it's a really thin layer, and the actual thickness of the piece is silver. And so I'm really reducing my cost of the gold to achieve that same look without having to use nearly as much gold. And so that's the kind of stuff we're going to get into, and really talking about design. This is why if you've taken workshops with me and or seen workshops I've taken or other videos, my workshops always tend to be, or not tend to be, they are um, uh, technique based. So they're not. I don't. I'm not a fan of the project based ones as much, um, because I think it compartmentalizes people in, okay, you were taught how to do the techniques, but for that specific piece, and sometimes that can make it hard to translate that technique going further. And so you can see some of these techniques I just showed you in those other rings, the same techniques were used, but in a different way to achieve some of the gold accenting and gold bezels and different things in fabricating and putting together this piece. So we'll talk about, orders, the order in which I fabricate things. What am I doing first? What am I adding next? Why am I adding that gold there but not over here? Or just that process of designing and fabricating the piece so that it all flows together and you can really um maximize the look of the gold, so that way you're not wasting because of that expense. So I don't know what else Susan.
That work is so gorgeous. I'm just like, ooh, ah.
We'll also, get into, I love also doing kind of hidden elements. And so we'll get into, if you look underneath the ring, I've got four little diamonds that you only see from certain directions. On the inside, underneath, the two you can kind of see in this video, not nearly as well, but you can see them through the stone. But from the side of the ring, when you're wearing it, you'll see them. So talking about, I like to incorporate those kinds of things, but also, really minimal, making small little accent bezels or tube settings, where it doesn't take a lot, where this is an all silver ring. And then you just have the rose cut diamonds on the sides that are, as you can see, compared to my fingers, rather small. I don't know why it's not focusing as well, of course, now. But you've got just those little diamonds are in gold, but it's just enough that you really, elevates the piece to that next level, um, and gives that perceived value to your buyer, with the little bit of sparkle and diamond set in gold. I've got maybe in those three diamond elements, I've got maybe 30 or $40 worth of materials. And this ring will sell, retail for about $700. And it's amazing how that little bit of gold, and the sparkle also helps. But that little bit of gold, it psychologically gives that buyer permission. It gives that perceived value, like this is, it is worth, the price they're asking because it has the gold on it. And you really might not be adding any more material cost, or very minimal material cost, to your ring or to your designs. But I found it just myself at shows when I first started using elements with gold. It's a big step. It's a scary step. Let me not have the voice from beyond, but when I first started using gold, I had I did this small little show. It was a little farmer's market actually in Vale. And I had my whole collection of work, which was probably 20 or 30 pieces at most at the time. All of my pieces were silver. They were all silver with stones, of course. And I had two rings that I had spent the money to get enough bezel wire to have two rings that had gold bezels instead of silver bezels. The rest of the ring was still silver. So the only difference was adding those gold bezels. And otherwise, they were right along the line of everything else. Um, um, sorry, I read the thing in the chat. Okay, they're too close. So sorry, I'll show those again, back them up a little bit. But I had those two rings that had the gold on them. And so that gold, it was maybe an extra $50 or so in material cost at the time. And I had the rings at just about double the price as my silver rings because of the gold. Um, those were and so purchasing wise, you could basically purchase almost the exact same ring just in silver for half the price, and the two gold rings were the first ones to sell. And it was just that gold gave those people permission. They had that perceived value that it was absolutely worth it because of the gold that was added to the ring, even though they could have bought almost an exact same ring in just silver for half the price. But they liked that seeing that gold. So it really does make a difference to slow, and you can do it in those slow increments. You don't have to like jump into all gold pieces or anything like that. So just adding those little bit of gold elements can make a big difference. So um let me show some stuff again. So let me see if doing it down here. Is that focusing better?
Yep, a little
Yeah.
bit. But I don't think you can go lower than that, can you?
No, not really. I wonder if I
Ryan, try putting a white piece of paper on top of your desk because I think it's focusing on all the other items.
you're
That
probably
might work.
Mhm. That helping at all?
I think it's better.
Okay. But yeah, so some of the other things, we're also going to get into in the workshop is, not only fabricating some of those gold, just the gold accenting and stuff and design elements, but also functional elements. We're going to get into some of the different connections that I use. So like this hinged connection, if I angle this the right way for my camera. So this hinged mechanism that I use for a lot of things, this in particular, is to connect the ear wire to the earring, so it has some movement. But we'll get into those little hinges, and I use these in a lot of different things, and I'll show actually a few different ways that I do those different hinges, using some different elements. It's not always just a U joint. Sometimes it's tubing. Um, and jump rings and different things. But we get into, it's not just the fabric, it's not just the use of gold, but I'm also showing a lot of my fabrication techniques in this workshop. So how I go about making these final pieces and working with the metal to do that.
That's exciting. I'm generous.
Hey, I'm always, I've always been one um to share. I've never understood the artists that keep things secret because I think that just doesn't benefit anybody. And then also that's how things are lost. But so like in this pendant, let me hold it a better way for you guys.
That's good.
Um, so using just those on the edges of the silver, this whole necklace is silver except for the bezel on the yellow opal is a gold bezel that's sunken down in there. And then I have a couple of diamonds at the top and a single diamond down here that are set in the 18 karat gold. But it's just enough, enough of a little bit of the flashy gold, and the one thing I usually do that I didn't do on this one is, I left this one completely polished. So the silver is polished on everything. And a lot of times whoa, as I throw things, um, a lot of times though when I'm working with the two different metals, I oxidize 99% of the time. And the biggest reason for that, because sometimes sometimes I might be using just a little bit of gold just to add a little bit of gold accenting. So this ring is using actually a decent amount of gold around the tops. But that oxidation against it really makes the gold pop. And so combining the gold and silver, but also oxidizing really allows that gold to pop. And have that really nice contrast between the oxidized silver and the gold elements within the piece. So that's here's another ring showing the gold on the outside, but it's not, this is a bimetal in the center of the ring. And then I like adding again those kind of little secret is towards the bottom of the ring. Wonder if this light does that help at all if I turn that light off? I assure you those, if you're going to take the class online, I will be at MAG and they have an amazing camera system and it will look better than this camera is doing right now. But yeah, just adding these different little design elements, into your pieces.
It's really beautiful. Are you cool if
What else?
people?
There's questions or anything? Or Susan, is there something?
Oh, I was just gonna say if people want to unmute themselves to ask questions, and then when they're done, if they just mute themselves.
Sorry, I'm losing.
Okay.
No.
Oh, there you go. I thought I lost your guys' sound for a second.
No questions. What?
So I guess I talked a little fast. But yeah, but the class we're gonna have a lot of fun getting into all of my fabrication techniques. So it's a lot more than just incorporating gold. It's getting into how, thinking about design, how I approach the design with the metals, fabricating those things, fabricating different elements to incorporate into your pieces, and connections and different things. So we'll get into ring shanks, how I make ring shanks, how I make some of my articulated connections. We'll get into my clasps. The clasp in this case, I do some. Let me put a piece of paper back. I take a very simple hook and eye. In this case it's all silver, but I'll do elements of it that are gold. I'll incorporate stone, but we'll get into fabricating different ways of going about making this clasp. Yeah, we get into a lot.
Ryan, someone wanted to know if you have videos to sell.
I don't. I haven't ever done that yet. I probably should, but I don't at the moment.
We'll have the videos that you provide for teaching available after the class for 30 days-ish. Not the same as owning a video. And you also do virtual classes. So that's.
Yep. Yeah, there are different places where I do just virtual classes on different subjects, and I'm trying to expand into some new subjects as well, working on a couple other new workshops potentially, but definitely still focus on the stone carving and the gold and silver fabrication class now. And one other class I have now is the stone within a stone workshop, where that workshop is slightly project based, I guess, but it focuses on having, those smaller stones of different shapes that you carve out the opening completely, and then that one gets into the stone carving aspect and the fabricating around it to actually complete the piece, how you align all, because in those cases, like this necklace that I just showed you, this necklace, the bezel for the yellow opal and the bezel for the ocean jasper that's around it, they're all soldered to the same base plate. And so it's getting around how to not only carve that opening so it's a nice tight, a nice tight fit, you don't have big gaps or anything, but then also how to align soldering those bezels and everything so all the stones fit together and going about completing it. So
And
yeah.
then you'll teach how to make bimetal. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be talking about some different bimetal processes um during the class as well. Yep. Yeah, just like in the ones in the rings, like this ring where you have the gold on the outside, silver on the inside. So that's a bimetal wire that we will create and then texture and then form a ring out of it. And it's interesting, it takes practice to work with because gold and silver, especially when you combine them in that way, they expand and contract at different variables with the heat. And so it's working on uh maintaining that structure when you're trying to solder it all together and not have it expand and open up in the middle of the gold sometimes wants to pull it open when you don't want it to do that. So it's figuring out ways to avoid that.
It's exciting. Somebody else wants to know if you work in enamel.
I don't. I've dabbled very briefly, but yeah, it's one of those things I've focused on working with stone and manipulating stone and getting into enamel. Um, it's another one of those. It's a whole nother field on its own that you can really, really delve into. And I haven't really, I've got a very, very basic knowledge on enamels.
Other questions? Curiosities?
I have a question.
Sure.
I've seen rings. Now that I know that, working with two different types of metals, like the bimetal, I've seen rings where it's silver, and in the center, it looks like it was had some sort of like turquoise dust in the middle or some sort of stone. Is that something that you know how like what would that process be? Is that another, is it just like a natural stone that's dusted in?
Yeah, so usually those kinds of rings, they fabricate the ring that has that little groove down the center of it. It's an open groove. And then a few different ways, depending on the style they want. They'll crush up the stone. So like they'll take turquoise. Usually they'll use a lower grade turquoise for this, and not break up the really good expensive cabin material. But they'll crush up the turquoise into small pieces and using an epoxy of some kind, they will carefully, as it cures, they'll keep rotating it and they'll fill in that groove with the broken up rock dust or pieces with the epoxy, letting it cure all the way around. And then they actually go back using either lapidary equipment or diamond tools with your flex shaft and grind it smooth and polish it smooth into the groove. The other way is they'll cut, you know, pieces, so like square pieces, or if they want different shapes, and they'll basically puzzle piece them together within that groove. Again, epoxying them, and then that would be referred to as an inlay. So have you ever seen Chuck Bruce? I don't know if Mag had Chuck Bruce out.
Nope.
Chuck Bruce is one that he teaches inlay and rings and cuffs. And so that's where you're not breaking it up into little pieces. You're cutting little pieces of stone to fit in there, and kind of puzzle piece them together. And then they go back and again cut from the top and smooth it all out and create the inlaid look that way. But that's a combination of lapidary and metal work to achieve those.
Thank you.
Other questions? Well, it sounds like there's gonna be a ton of stuff to learn and,
Yeah, it's gonna be a packed 3 days.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Shella. Do you, um, oh goodness, I sent you a text, a chat actually with that question. Oh, the 30 days of the video of the class, is that available to anybody who actually wasn't able to make it to the class?
as long as you sign up for the class, you'll have access to the video.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And you have access to me. I'm always after the class ends doesn't mean I stop answering questions. So you'll have all my contact info and everything to as you continue watching the video and trying things. You can ask some of the other people who have taken classes from me. I'm always happy to answer questions that come up as you continue to try to do the things. So I don't I don't cut it off at the end of the class. I'm always happy to keep ask Susan. She's
Ryan's a
always
wonderful resource, yeah, fine friend, yeah. But we would love to have you, anybody that wants to participate, if life sets it up for you that you're not able to come to the class during the live part of the class, feel free to get in touch with me, Susan at metalartsguildga.org, and we'll help you out. And, maybe Ryan will let you hang on to the video a few extra days or something like that. We try to be
I don't
understanding.
yeah, of course. I don't mind that.
And then I'm gonna rope you into teaching another class for us virtually too. So that, you can just be a frequent flyer in all of our lives.
Sounds good to me. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Let's see. Anybody else? Questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions?
We're gonna have fun. So definitely if you ever had any interest in trying to incorporate gold into your work and just approaching design with the dual metals. We'll have a lot of fun getting into this. So
One more question. Let's see, do I already get it? Sounds like a great class. It will be. Yeah, I think we answered everything.
we went a little shorter, so sorry, but
You
yeah,
can,
huh?
nothing. It's gonna just put in a pitch for you that
No.
it's very full, but really relaxed. And you know how classes sometimes there's so much information, everything's so driven. So you may not have time to practice everything in the class that Ryan teaches, or do people have time to practice
No,
everything?
they'll have time to. Yeah, no, I tend to stagger. I try to stagger demos. I don't try to do just a bunch of demoing all at once. I try to stagger and do a little bit, give people time to try it, and then stagger those demos throughout the workshop. So that way it's not an overload all at once, and then you have to try to remember what I did, 3 hours ago to try it yourself. And so I've always done the format like that with those workshops, and at least the last time we did it at Mag, that format with the stone carving class worked out well. Even with the people at home had time to try things, and I'm there just as I am with the in-person people. I'm there I can see people's cameras, what they're working on, and answer questions just as easily with the online people as I can with the in-person people. And it's always, and it's great people, you know, students in the class also come up with some great ideas and great things. Um, and, so it's really good for playing off the other students too. You feed off of everyone else and what they're attempting with these techniques also.
Since we're doing a hybrid format, if you're somebody that doesn't want to travel or can't travel, and you're not able to join us inside the workshop, since we do everything at once, you really are invited into the classroom experience, and then Ryan will spend some time one-to-one with each of you while people are working, which is really a nice thing. Maybe one shortfall is that in the studio it's a little different than being at home, because while Ryan's teaching, we won't be hammering and making a bunch of noise. Otherwise, nobody would be able to hear. So if you're at home, you have the benefit of being able to work alongside Ryan's teaching. But if you are somebody who would prefer to learn in person, I find that it's still a pretty intimate experience. Valerie, you would be the person who would be able to comment most about what it feels like being in a virtual situation.
Yeah, well, she's done both. She's taken virtual with me and not in person with me. So
That's a high mark for you.
Uh, I wanna learn how, like, around your stones, you have like the textured piece of metal,
Uh-huh.
right? And
Yep.
I've taken round wire and textured it and flattened it, but I can't get it to bend like you do.
We'll be that's one thing we'll be doing.
Yeah.
Is showing how I fabricate that texture going around. And for those of you in person, and I can figure out if we get everyone's mailing address, I can also mail them a little piece. I'll bring little pieces of the texture that I use. And so I was planning to give everyone a piece of what I use to achieve that texture. It's a roller printed texture. But I'll bring a piece for everybody, and then we'll get everyone who is taking it virtually, I'll get their mailing address from Mag, as long as those people give Mag permission to give me their addresses. And can drop a piece of that material in the mail to you as well.
The secret mesh.
My secret brass mesh.
For that.
Huh?
Looked all over the world for that.
It's hard to. I've not. I got it. Michael actually found it probably 20 plus years ago at a scrapyard, and he got a big roll of it. And luckily, I was able to get a decent amount of it from him. And I have tried myself to find it, and I've not yet found. I found similar, but not exactly what this is yet. So I myself am still in the hunt for the case that I ever run out of it.
I'll have to switch. I'll have to find something else.
I know I have to find a new texture. Hopefully that won't be for a few years at least.
I'm just going to open the door real quick so my little puppy stops barking, and I'll be right back. It looks like we're about to end.
Sure. I don't even hear the dog barking.
Oh, well, you get your choice between Steve playing violin or the dog barking, but that's just life. Anyways, any last questions? If people are asking about the setup in the studio, we're a fully equipped studio, but we do have people when they come to workshops to bring some of their own tools, because chances are, if you have tools, they're probably in a slightly better condition than the ones we have. Like if you have little needle files or you have a favorite hammer, but we are well equipped. Everyone has a bench, everyone has a flex shaft, and we have the consumables that you'll need for the class. I think that's.
Yeah, the only thing is I will not have kits of the gold available. I believe that was made clear on the description. So make sure you have your gold with you. Unfortunately, I don't have the budget to buy that much gold up front. So I wish I could do that for everybody, but I can't. So yeah, make sure you know that few different places. I get most of mine from Stuller. And so a lot of the stuff on that list is basically the minimum order for those different options. But Hoover and Strong would be another good source for the gold. I think Auto Fry would be a decent source for the gold. I don't know if they'd have everything, but those are three good sources for getting the gold. Rio unfortunately doesn't. They don't carry a lot of things in the higher carat golds, and even in the 14 karat gold, they're kind of limited. So they're better for the silver. They have good options in silver, but gold Stellar is my main source of getting the gold that I use.
Usually cheaper too than the other places, I think.
Yeah, they're usually pretty competitively priced with the market price, of course, but
Nothing cheap in the gold department right now.
oh, not right now, especially.
So all the more reason to keep
Right.
class, right? I mean, it's just a really nice way to stretch a small amount of gold into something that looks great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can stretch a, $200 or $300 worth of gold into quite a number of pieces.
And
All right, guys. Well, if there aren't any other questions or anything,
I'll just
hopefully we answered some questions.
shamelessly self-promoting for MAG, this wonderful workshop. We have space. I think we have two, maybe we have more than two more spaces in the studio, and then we can do as many as we want in virtual.
Yep.
So there's room on both sides. And reach out to Ryan or myself, and we're happy to answer questions for you. And
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you have any other questions about the upcoming class or anything, feel free to, you can message me on Instagram or email me or anything like that. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
And we have all our workshops for 2025 posted on our website. So there's some wonderful people coming to teach. And all of those classes will be taught virtually as well, except for one in January. It'll be studio only, but the rest will be hybrid. And we'd love to see you. And we would especially love to see you at Ryan's class. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ryan. It's always so fun to be with you.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you in the class. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, man. See you soon. It's like Hollywood Squares ending. Or Brady Bunch, depending on when you were born.
Yeah, well, my Brady Bunch is my mom's
Brady
favorite. So, well versed in the Brady Bunch.
Thank you so much, Ryan. This was fun. Now I'm like, I didn't sign up for your class because I was going to just be your assistant, and then Lisa is also going to help, and somebody else is going to help on Sunday. So I won't dominate it. But now I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'll ever leave. But you might need extra help.
Always need the help.
I'm really excited, and it'll be great. And of course, the weather's gorgeous here now. Hopefully, it'll stay that way till you get here.
Let's hope so.
And we'll have a new president for a couple days, I think. I hope.
Oh, you'll have a new president right then?
Well, a couple days.
National. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right after the
I mean, who
election.
knows if we'll know anything, but yeah.
Oh, God. Well, either way, it'll be new. Just questioning who it will be.
Mhm. That's right.
Yep. That will be interesting.
That's the extent of that conversation.
Yep.
Won't go there. It's just a highlight. Anyway, any other questions?
No, I don't think so. I'll see you. Oh, I still need to send you my flight info. I'll get that to you. I think I get in like 10:30 or 11 somewhere there in the morning on the 7th.
Oh, good. I was hoping it's not at night. Yeah.
No. And then I leave I leave around the same. It's later morning-ish. I don't think I
Okay.
did too early of a flight.
Well, that's good. And I teach on Thursday, but I think I should be able to come get you before class. And then, yeah, you might have to come to my class.
Oh well.
You could teach.
I can
You
I
can
can
teach.
unpack I can unpack in the corner.
Please has a class on Thursday night, but we'll make room for you. It'll be fine. And let's see, is there anything else? No. We can subcontract with you. You can come and be a special guest. Actually, if you come and do something with the class, you never know. Someone might sign up that day.
You never know.
They would love you. Mhm.
All
Yeah, I'm
righty.
into it. So we'll probably talk before then, but stay well.
You too. See you in a couple weeks.
Thanks so much for joining us. It was great.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.